At 1:03 a.m., my phone lit up with a name I hadn't seen in 4 years. Dad. I stared at the screen because people don't call at that hour to reconnect. They call because something is broken. 4 years earlier, my father pushed me out of the family company after I refused to give up my ownership share. Since then, silence. No birthdays. No holidays. No calls. When I answered, his voice sounded older than I remembered. Lena, come home this weekend. We need to discuss the will. Then he hung up. The next morning I called Grant Mercer, our family attorney. After a long pause, he admitted things were not going well. Dad's health had declined and my brother Owen had taken control of decisions. Managers had resigned. Clients were leaving. Projects were losing money. Reports reaching Dad were incomplete. Then Grant quietly said, "If you come back, come prepared." Saturday morning I drove home. The white fence looked older. The oak tree Dad planted when I was 10 still stood tall. Everything looked exactly the same. And somehow that made it worse. 3 cars sat outside. That's when I realized this wasn't a family visit. It was a meeting. Inside, everyone waited around the dining table. Dad, Owen, my aunt, 2 advisors. Owen smiled at me the way people smile when they think they've already won. Dad looked smaller than I remembered. Older. He told me to sit and started talking about continuity, leadership, and protecting the business. When he finished, I opened my notebook and started asking questions. Customers who left. Staff resignations. Delayed projects. Rising budgets. At first Owen answered confidently. Then he became defensive. Then silent. Slowly the room changed. Then I placed my folder on the table. The sound cut through the room. Dad opened it. Independent reports. Client complaints. Exit interviews. Financial reviews. Every page made the room quieter. Every page made Owen look less certain. Dad looked up and said quietly, "I was never shown this." I nodded. He turned toward Owen. "You told me they retired." Owen looked away. Dad continued reading. Then finally asked, "Does this go back years?" I answered softly, "Yes." Dad looked at Owen again. For the first time in his life, Owen had no answer. No speech. No confidence. No explanation. Dad ended the meeting and asked everyone to leave. A week later, independent reviewers confirmed everything. The company wasn't failing yet, but it had been drifting in the wrong direction for years. Then Dad called another meeting. This time the room felt different. Dad held a folder and looked at everyone before speaking. He explained the company would no longer belong to one person. Leadership would become shared. Independent oversight would be added. No more decisions based only on trust. Then Dad looked directly at me and said something I never expected to hear. "Lena, I should have listened." Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. 4 years of silence didn't disappear. But something finally changed. Dad admitted he trusted one child without asking enough questions, and stopped listening to the other. Those words didn't fix the past, but they opened a door I thought had been closed forever. After the meeting ended, Dad walked me to the front porch. Afternoon sunlight stretched across the old wooden steps. He looked at me and quietly asked, "I hope this isn't the last time you answer my call." I smiled and slipped my keys into my pocket. Then I answered, "Then don't wait 4 years next time." He nodded. And as I drove away I realized something. The real inheritance was never the company. It was finally having a family where nobody had to earn the truth anymore.